Hey guys, this is Jason Morris with Real Estate Agents That Really Work. So today is the last day of January. I'm talking about it's the last day. I mean, honestly, by the time you guys will hear this, it'll probably be, the last day of the work day at least, will probably be over. So, but what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to use today, use tomorrow, spend like 20, 30 minutes doing this. You need to do this every month, but this month's critical because if you got your 2017 goals and you're off a little bit right now, right? January didn't turn out like you wanted it to be. You got sick, the kids were sick, you had snow, whatever the deal is. January wasn't what you wanted it to be. You did not hit your January goal. You didn't get as many listings as you wanted. You didn't go on as many listing appointments, whatever it was. Today is the day. Today and tomorrow is the day to figure that out, because February is going to be a little tougher because it's a short month. But, we'll get to that in just a second. So what you need to do is you need to go through and review your month. You need to take every listing, every contract you got, write them all out, put them in a spreadsheet, put them on a piece of notebook paper, whatever's easiest for you to do. And you need to write down beside them exactly where that person come from. Was it a Red X for sale owner? Was it a Red X expired? Was it a Z-Buyer lead? Was it a signed call? Was it, exactly where that listing come from, or that contract, that buyer contract come from? Because what you're going to want to do is, you're going to want to review the month and see what you got going on. Then you want to see what you got in your pipeline. Like what listings do you have? What listings do you have coming up? What listings do you have? Like the person that you keep following up with, but maybe they just hadn't pulled the trigger. They haven't signed the listing agreement with you because, hey, they're getting a new roof. They're planting, new grass, whatever it is, You need to look at what you've done in the month. Look at what your pipeline is. Okay. Review your lead sources too. Okay. So if you're using Z-Buyer, you need to look at what you got from it in January. Look at the number of leads you got. And different markets and different counties get different numbers of leads. But you need to go through and see what did you get from that, and what can you do better to follow up with those leads from last month and last year. So Red X the same way. Look at the expired. What can you do better on those expired calls? Did you call the number of days that you wanted to? Now for February, you need to lay out your entire month. What are you going to do for the whole month? Like, I'm going to be off for a week in February. So I'm going to be out of town for a week. We're renting a house on the lake. And we're having a gender reveal party for mine and Laura's baby we got due in July. So we're going to figure out what our baby is, and if it's a boy or girl. And then we're going to spend a week, with our family and stuff, kind of hanging out. So that's going to be really cool. But, I got to go ahead and figure out what days I want to work. Then, you need to look back at January and say, hey, can you do more in February? And that's something too, if you only were prospecting 2 days a week and you didn't hit your goal, maybe you need to prospect 3 or 4 days a week or 5 days a week, maybe 6 days a week, depending on what your goals are. But February, can you do more? Because if you're behind from January, you need to catch up. You need to start catching up as soon as possible. So if your goal was 4 listings in January and you only got 3 in February, you really need to get 5 if your goal is 4. So, you need to review the month. And, send me a message through Facebook if you need a little help doing this. I'm looking for some agents to work with in select markets. And send me a message, if you think it's something you want to do, and we can talk about, what I'm doing and what I'm looking for, and, how we can work together. But, so February is a special month, and I want to tell you guys how to follow up in February. Okay, right now, you should have your list of everybody you've been following up with, whether it's in your CRM or Notepad or, whatever it is. But follow up. You need to follow up with people, and this is how you need to follow up. You need to go, hey, Mr. Seller, this is Jason Morris with eXp Realty. I'm calling you about your house over on Main Street. And what I'm calling for is, I know we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, put it on the market and stuff, and ask them, do you know what happens in February? And they're going to probably pause for a second. They're probably going to tell you no, or they're going to ask you what happens. The thing that happens in February is everybody can file their income tax checks, and they can get an income tax return. So all those people that, they had regular W-2 jobs, where they're going to get, some money back if they were $1,000 short on their down payment, if they were, whatever the situation is, if they were a little short on money, moving expenses, closing costs, whatever, they're going to have that money like in the next 2 weeks. I mean, they might have the money today, if they did rapid filing. And what you want to tell them, though, is, hey, everybody's going to be getting their tax return checks back. So if they're a little short on down payment, moving cost, closing costs, and those expenses with buying a house, they're going to have that money in the next couple of weeks, and they're looking at houses right now. So, Mr. Seller, what I don't want you to miss out on a buyer. So look here, I got some time in my schedule later this week. I can meet you on Wednesday or Thursday, which day works for you. And you go ahead and set an appointment and be really aggressive with telling them how many buyers are going to be looking, because January and February are the biggest months for home searches online. And the person that's going to be buying the end of February, that's seriously wanting a house, they are looking right now. The person that's in that situation that I told you about, that first-time home buyer, which a lot of us are in first-time home buyer markets, and we're working on inventory that first-time home buyers would buy. Now, the vacation people and the retirees and stuff, they're a little more unpredictable. They're not waiting on a tax return to get their finances in order. But if they got that problem on their credit, man, they're going to have the tax money to get that problem fixed. And in 30 days, 45 days, they're going to be buyers, and they're going to be real buyers. But the deal is they're looking today. So you need to be out there relaying that, following up with all of your leads and relaying this as much as possible to them, that the buyers wanting to buy their house are looking today, and they're going to have the money to buy it here in the next week or so. So anyway, that's how I'm following up with all my sellers, for the next week or two, and until we take a week off, I'm going to be following up with every seller I have in that exact same way. So I encourage you to do the same thing. Create a sense of urgency. There's not another home in the community. You're wanting $125,000 for yours. There's only 8 homes within a 2-mile radius. You're going to miss a buyer if you don't get your home on the market today. You need to keep relaying that sense of urgency to those people. And it's not a false sense of urgency, too, because inventory all around the country is going down. So anyway, guys, if you're looking for a lead source, a new lead source, Red-X, they offer a lot of different stuff. I subscribe to the For Sale by Owners and Expireds. Those are my 2 favorite lead sources. They're waiving setup fees right now, and they're waiving a $150 setup fee if you tell them I sent you, and they have some package deals. Also, Z-Buyer is giving 20% off. You just have to call Z-Buyer or contact Eva Langley, tell her Jason Morris sent you, and there again, I'm looking for agents in select markets across the country to work with me. So if you think you're interested, just send me a message through Facebook, send me an email, let me know, and we'll set up a time we can talk more. But guys, have a great day.